What's up, you guys? It is your boy JB. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday morning. Mine is getting off to a good start. After I finish this, I'm going to get a manicure today and my pedicure today because my toes are jacked the fuck up. But this is Life After Lockup. This is season 3, episode 21, and it's titled Secret Lives and Prison Wives. So you guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this episode review. All right, you guys, so I'm going to first start up with Destiny and Sean. You know, if Sean weren't so stupid, I would really feel sorry for Sean, but I don't, because Sean is a complete fucking idiot. You know, and I saw that Kelly has been and I know she's been on Nikki Starr's videos. I know she's been in Ashley's comments section, and she's let it known that Sean ain't shit. Sean really didn't talk to these kids before the show started filming. I'm like, that is fucked up. Fucked up. Kelly, I hope you've been watching, since I know you watch my friends' reviews, Ashley and Nikki, I hope you watch mine because I've given you some knowledge and we're going to impart that knowledge once again. So listen to me again. I'm going to tell you one more time. Actually, I'm gonna tell you this every fucking week. Call WeTV. I know you probably got a relationship with them. Call them. Ask them for the footage of this show. Now you might be saying, JB, why do I need the footage of the show? I'm gonna tell you why you need the footage of the show. Because if Sean got this much money to blow on Destiny's dumbass, girl, go to court, get child support on that motherfucker. You got 6 kids with him. He gonna be paying some good money to you. That's unless he don't quit his job. Because I know people in the hood will do that in a heartbeat. Like, I know people who've done that. Get on child support, quit their job so that they don't have to pay. But even if he finds another job, here's the gotcha. Back child support, nigga. I don't understand why niggas don't see that. Back child support. Y'all niggas quit a job, but y'all do realize that even with you quitting a job, if you find something, if you find a job, if you get unemployment, if you get any kind of governmental money, say a student loan, anything from the government, you do realize that they will take that money, right? I just want to put that out there to you. To anybody who's listening who needs to hear that. They take the money. Trust me, I know. Not personally. Well, actually, yes, it is personal, but it's not for me. My grandfather. He was on child support up until he passed away for 2 of his later kids who are my age. My uncle is a year older than me and my aunt is a year younger than me. I actually talked about them yesterday in my one of them in my hot topics videos, but that's neither here nor there. Kelly, get the footage, take it to court. I don't think any judge is gonna rule against you. Honestly, I really don't. So take him for all he's worth. I mean, if he got that much money to blow, like I said, if he got that much money to blow on Destiny, he can take care of y'all kids instead of y'all going to a fucking thrift store, consignment store, whatever you want to call it. Again, there's nothing wrong with the consignment store because I used to work at Goodwill and they do have some nice clothes, but for some kids, no. Now, I was an adult buying the Goodwill clothes. Take him to court. So, back to the show. Destiny, you guys remember, Sean called her sister, talking to her sister about trying to see where Destiny was, and he said that he found a pregnancy test. And once he hung up the phone, her sister, I forget what her name is, she was like, I think you should just tell him that you're here so that way he knows that you're safe. And Destiny was like, no, I don't want to tell him that I'm here. He's a liar. And I'm like, Destiny, you're a liar too. You haven't told this man that you slept with women in prison, that you will probably sleep with women outside of prison, and that you hit on that girl at that furniture store and we're going to take her on a date. So who's really the liar? Oh, that's right, both of you. I really don't like Destiny. I know somebody said in my comments section a few weeks ago that Destiny is back in jail. Congratulations to Destiny for going back to jail. Because I just think she's I think she's just a vile, disgusting human being, period, point blank. And then I've heard that she got 5 kids. What about your kids? Obviously, you don't give a fuck about them. Again, Sean, like I said, dumb as fuck. Actually, in my notes, I put dumb as the fuck. So he found out that Destiny was engaged 2 times. The one that got me, the thing that in that scene that got me was when he said Jose why Destiny? I'm like, Sean, you have got to be the biggest fucking idiot. I ain't that fluent in Spanish, but I do know a little bit of Spanish. I know enough Spanish to know that Jose E Destiny means Jose and Destiny. This fool said Jose Y Destiny. That is Jose E Destiny. And that is Jose and Destiny. Yeah. Let's move on from that dumb fuck and move on to another dumb fuck. Sarah and Michael. When it comes to Sarah, the only thing that I can say about Sarah is Sarah likes dysfunction. Sarah loves this back and forth with Michael. Like, you can't tell me anything other than that. Sarah enjoys this. Malcolm, if you're watching this video, you might want to do yourself a favor. Get off of that merry-go-round that is Sarah and Michael. Because Sarah is not over Michael. Sarah is not going to ever be over Michael. Sarah might be, saying she's with you and sleeping with you, but she still secretly wants to be with Michael. Like I said, Sarah enjoys this game that she's playing with Michael. She wants to play like she's not, but she is. Like, I mean, just look at her. Like, even if you look at that, so when they show the couples, like now they have those little videos. If you look at that video of Sarah and Michael, where he's looking at her like this, and she's like, come on. Sarah enjoys this just as much as Michael does. Because Michael even said I think he said in his interview last week that if he said the words to Sarah, she would take him back. And I'm like, honestly, as much as I dislike you, you're correct. She would take you back. So, and then here's my problem with Sarah. So I get that Malcolm is your man, but my thing is, why are you giving him so much information about what's going on between you and Michael? That's why he felt so comfortable talking to Michael in, what was it, last week's episode or the week before, when he was talking to Michael about what's going on with their case. Like, dude, you knew here first and foremost. You don't know the situation like that. Mind your business. So I wasn't really mad at Michael when he ignored Malcolm. But we see Sarah, so she's getting ready for court. So she does finally make it to the courthouse. So she's outside of the courthouse waiting on Michael, and she calls Michael, but no answer. So then, she goes into the courthouse, and while she's in the courthouse, she tries him again, but there's no answer. And I was looking at that camera that they were using. I'm like, whose Android is this? Like, y'all don't have any kind of like DSLR cameras, I don't know what they have, but the camera angle, I'm like, that camera, it was grainy. No shade to anybody who got an Android, but it was just grainy. So then we see the producers. So the producers go over to Michael's room, and Michael opens the door, and they're like, you missed court. He's like, I know I missed court. I'm like, why you mad at the producers? They ain't the ones that did anything. You the one that did it. He was like, I set my alarm, and I set an alarm on Gurley's phone, but it didn't go off. Now I have had that happen once before, where I set an alarm on this phone, and it literally did not go off. Because this phone is old and outdated, and sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. And I had to go to work that morning, and I was almost late because of this damn phone. Like, I was supposed to wake up at 6 o'clock. No. I was supposed to wake up at 5:30, but I didn't wake up until 6. I was like, oh shit, I'm about to be late. So that was on me, because my other phone was dead, but this was the only one that wasn't. I don't know how that happened. That is neither here nor there. Michael is just, I don't know what to say about Michael. He's an ain't shit. He's a piece of shit, ain't shit nigga. Like, that's all I can say about Michael, is he ain't shit. But again, like I said, Sarah does what? Sarah enjoys the game. So once court is over, she calls Michael. She asks Michael, why did he miss court? He says that he overslept. I'm like, okay, Michael, whatever. So then, he asks her what happened at court, but then he tells her, what, I'm coming over. I'm like, oh God. Sarah, don't answer the door, but unfortunately I know Sarah's gonna answer the door like a dumbass. But let's move on. All right, guys, let's talk about Quaylon and Chevelle real quick. The first thing that I noticed, 'cause I saw the sneak peek of the episode on Thursday, during Braxton Family Values. And I was looking at Quaylon in that interview look, and I'm like, good God of hell. First of all, he looks like Wanda from In Living Color, so Jamie Foxx should be suing. And then the next thing that I was looking at, I'm like, he's really small. That's the one thing that I'm noticing about a lot about people on this show. When they were in prison, they looked a little bigger, but now that they're out, they look a little bit smaller. So I'm like, are y'all starving yourselves or are y'all on drugs? Because Quaylin's face it's smaller than what we first saw him. And same with Destiny, her face is a lot smaller. I'm like, damn, is it drugs? I really hope it's not, but damn. So then, he's in Houston with his sister Nandria, Niecy, and his mama. And they were eating spaghetti, and I was looking at that spaghetti. I'm like, where's the sauce at on that spaghetti? Because it was just, I'm like, are y'all just eating the noodles by themselves? Like, y'all ain't got no sauce on that kind of shit. I don't see that much sauce on there, but whatever. So, they asked, I think it was Nandria. Nandria asked him, so what you doing in Houston? He was like, oh, I'm just visiting. But then he says, I'm actually here crashing on somebody on the couch. And Nandria was like, whose couch you crashing on? He's like, any one of y'all's. So they're like, so what happened between you and Chevelle? So, so he was like, actually they were like, so, what about Chevelle? Is she coming? He was like, this is a family trip. This is me and y'all. No Chevelle. So then they were like, so what happened? So he tells them, well, Chevelle saw some messages in my phone of me talking to another person. And I like talking to another person. He was like, yeah. He's like, it's a young lady that I met on Facebook. Never met her, but it was somebody that I confided in. I'm like, oh, okay. So if you never met her, why did that, in that text message that Chevelle had, why was she ready to get your penis again? You met that girl. You met her. I really hope she wasn't stupid enough to fly from Chicago to Kansas City, but I'm pretty sure she did. So then Quaylin, he and Nandria get into it with one another because he's talking about the fact that Chevelle was there for him when he was in prison. Chevelle wrote him letters and Chevelle came to see him weekly, but they weren't there. And I was on Nandria's side. I was really on Nandria's side. Because Nandria said some shit that I'm like, I get it. When you're in prison, you want people to be there to help, keep you sane and hold you down. But what Nandria said was some real spill shit. Nandria said, we ain't the ones that told you to go out and rob somebody and get your ass put in prison. Correct. And the thing is, because when I was a kid, I had a cousin that was in prison my entire childhood up until he was in prison from my childhood until I turned actually I was about to be 20 when he finally got out of prison. He had been in prison since I was a baby. And my mom, and my grandmother, we used to go visit him in prison. That wasn't until they moved him so far out that my mom and my grandmother were older. So my mom got to a point where she really couldn't, ride long distances, and my grandmother couldn't either. So actually, it was my grandmother. At first, it was both of them, but more specifically, my grandmother. She couldn't ride a long distance, and at one point, my cousin was all the way near Houston, and my grandmother just couldn't manage that ride for very long. So with that, when you visit somebody in prison, it's almost like you're in prison because of, I don't know what the checkpoints are like in other areas, but I know that the checkpoints here in Texas are the dumbest that I've ever saw in my life. Now I get coming into the prison, because when we used to go to see my cousin, and then my uncle also went to prison as well, so we used to visit him because he was a lot closer. Actually, I had my cousin, my uncle, and then I have another uncle that's actually back in prison again. And I'm like, that nigga must have a boyfriend down there that he missed. You can't tell me he ain't had a boyfriend down there that he missed. So, suffice it to say, When you go to the prisons, like I said, here in Texas, the checkpoint, when you pull up to the gate, the guard shack, they tell you to get out the car. Fine. They look in the car. They look through the glove compartment. They look if you got a center console. They look through all of that stuff. Then they ask you to lift the trunk and the hood. Now I get it. You can be smuggling stuff in the trunk. I get that. But what the fuck you gonna put up? Well, you know what? No, what are you literally gonna put under your hood that's not gonna damage your car? Unless you tape it to the roof of the hood. You know what? Makes sense now. So, you do that. And then when you get to the gate and, you check in, they didn't frisk, they didn't check, they didn't pat us. Actually, they patted me down. But my mother and my grandmother, they would do the body thing. Actually, with me, they would do both. They would do they would scan my body and they would, pat me down. I was like, this is so, they would pat and it would be my legs that would bother. I'm like, well, oh my God, y'all are really close to I'm like, this is an invasion of my privacy. Just touching my legs and my thighs and all that stuff is just like, no, move. So you go, and then you go in there and you sit down for your visit. And then once you leave, they don't check you once you leave, but once you go out, they do the same shit with the car. Like, what the fuck am I taking in? What the hell am I taking out that I didn't take in? I don't understand. I don't know this prison, so there's no way I can say, oh, I'm gonna pull to the side door, you hop in the trunk, and I'm gonna take you out. Now I know you could probably, no, never mind. But yeah, it's like you in prison. So I understood Nandria. So Quaylin goes out and starts throwing, destroying shit. I'm like, wait a minute, bro. You don't come to somebody's house and destroy their shit. But then Nandria decided to apologize to Quaylin. I'm like, no, Nandria. Don't apologize to this nigga. He, like you said earlier, he put himself in prison, not you guys. So why should you guys have to suffer a prison sentence just like him? Selfish, right? For him. But yeah, that's it for Quaylin, Nandria, Niecy, and Mama. No Chevelle. Let's move on. All right, guys. Next, let's discuss Brittany and Marcelino. It really wasn't a lot with them in this episode, so it's going to be pretty quick. So we see Brittany. So Brittany is going to go see her mother. She let us know that her mom lost the apartment that she and her sister were living in, which, if she's on drugs and she's not working, obviously she's going to lose the apartment. And, Brittany is taking her some groceries. I'm like, shit, you better than I am. You are a lot better than me, because I don't think that I would be doing that. But again, my mom wasn't on drugs. My mom was actually a substance abuse counselor who always told me not to do drugs. And then when she found out that I smoked weed, she was like, oh my God, Jerome. She's like, is that all you do? I'm like, yes, that's all I do. Because for years we always talked about drugs. That was one thing that we always discussed. Because she always felt that if you do one, it could spiral into you doing other ones, which I agree with that. If you do hard, I agree with that aspect, but that's for people who do hard drugs like crack, heroin, speed, PCP. Ain't that the same thing? Speed and PCP. Crack, heroin, speed, meth. There's another one I'm thinking. Angel dust. There's another one I'm thinking about that. I know a friend. I had a friend that did it. It's the one that they did on The Hangover. Ecstasy. That's what it is. Ecstasy. So even with ecstasy, I know people who've done ecstasy and they don't deviate to the other drugs, but I guess that's a rare case. I guess you could say. I guess. I don't know. But I always advocated for weed. And she's like, she asked me one day, she's like, why do you advocate so much for it? She said, do you smoke it? I was like, yes, I do. She was like, oh God. I'm like, but I don't think too deeply into it. I said, don't think too deeply into it. I was like, that's all I do. I'm like, that's all I smoke. I'm like, I don't want to touch crack. I don't want to touch none of that other stuff. I'm like, I see what it does. I mean, I love my teeth. That's really what it is. I love my teeth. I don't want fucked up. I don't want my teeth. I don't want no missing tooth over here, no missing tooth here, no cracked tooth, none of that. Although my front two teeth are, the enamel is chipping, but other than that, that's it. That's just because of aging. But yeah, no. So Brittany is going to this motel that, she said that she used to frequent when she was 12 to 14, that she frequented with her rapist. I'm not going to call him the father of her children, her rapist. And I wouldn't be able to go back there because that would be triggering. So she talks to her, she goes into the room with her mom. Her mom looked so different. Like her mom has really lost weight. And that's not a good thing because, it's the drugs, eating it. God, that is really sad. It's really sad to see it. So Brittany tells her mom, like, I want to help you. Again, Brittany is a better person than me because I just don't know if I would be able to do that because it's like the roles are reversed and she's the parent and her mom is the child. I just don't know if I would be able to do it. I would tell my mother to get help. I'm like, you got to get help. Like, there's no other way. You got to get help. I would tell her, I don't want to bury you because of a drug addiction. That's something that I don't want to do. So you got to make the effort to want to get off these drugs. And, she told her to seek help. And she says, I'll be there. If you need a ride, like, I will leave my kids and come and take you. I'm like, ooh, that's a big one. But yeah, let's move on from Brittany. It was really sad to see that scene. All right, you guys. Amber and Vincent are back. I would have thought we saw the last of them. So it wasn't really a lot with Amber either. But we found out that she's been working at a restaurant for a year now, and she's trying to be a manager. She tells us that, she hasn't dated since Vince, and I think the last time she said she talked to Vince was 8 months ago. And we also find out that her mom is being released. So we do see her. She picks her mom up. Now, Amber, when she said how long she's on probation, I was like, God damn. So you can't literally, she can't do anything. She is on probation for 20 years. They really must want her to fuck up. Because I don't know anybody that's on probation for that long. Now, I know maybe 5 years, but God damn, she is on probation for 20 years until she is 60. Fuck. So one wrong move and she's locked up. 20 years, just a little bit excessive, I would think. So she goes and, like I said, she picks her mom up. Now, Amber, however, she wants to go on the straight and narrow. So she and her mom go out to eat. Now, her mom is asking her about Vincent. And when I was listening to her mama talk about Vincent, I'm like, yeah, your mama's still on the scamming shit. She might not be wanting to do the drugs, or she might even actually say, hey, I got this little business deal that we can do. Because she was asking Amber about her little paycheck. I'm like, why would you diminish her? Like, why would you diminish that? If your daughter is doing good in her life, why diminish what she's doing? It's because it's not the fast cash that you were used to, because she said they were making like $15,000. Shit, that's a lot of money. And then, they were talking about where she's staying. She's still staying with Puppy's mama. And she tells her, well, it's okay if you want to be in a relationship with Puppy. I'm like, we all know she's a lesbian. I don't know why they keep playing us like she's not a lesbian. Like, we all can see it. Why is my leg shaking so hard? Don't know. But yeah, that's really it for Amber and Vincent. And more specifically, Amber. Let's move on to the last couple. All right, you guys, the last couple, it wasn't much with them either. Lacey, Shane, and John. I want to move my head just a little bit because the picture might be right here. Lacey in this picture right here, I'm thinking it's right here. I know she's center. I don't know if you guys can see her, but this picture of Lacey, she looks really nice. She looks really, really pretty. I love her hair and the makeup. She looks really beautiful. And I can't believe I'm saying that. But Lacey looks really pretty in this look. Now, John, however, he looks like he's been rode hard and hung to dry. Even Shane over here looks pretty nice. I'm hoping I'm saying it in the right way. I'm hoping I'm pointing in the right direction. I do know Lacey's behind me, but I don't. Shane or John is on, I don't know which side they're on, but John, actually, John might be on this side. I'm trying to think about how the pictures are. John might be on this side and Shane might be on this side, or vice versa, I don't know. Either way I go, John looked like he'd been rolled hard and hung wet to dry. And Shane, he looks nice. I just wish Shane would just fix his teeth, but that's neither here nor there. Lacey and Shane, his friend is over. He's just catching them up on the pregnancy. You know, they lost the 2 babies, and the other baby is growing. He actually said that Lacey's in her 2nd trimester, so things are good. So he thinks, because he's talking about, things are good with John being out the picture. I'm like, shit, is John really out the picture? And as he's saying that, who do we see come out of prison or jail? John. I never noticed it until this episode that John is cockeyed like a motherfucker. His eyes were cocked like a pistol. One eye was going this way, the other eye was going that way. I'm like, God damn. But you guys, that is the episode. Be sure to like this video, leave your comments in the comment section below, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell notification button so you guys are aware of when I drop anything else, and share this video. And until the next one, you guys stay safe out there, take care of yourselves. Remember, wash your hands, wear your mask, socially distance, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 3 freaking videos. Power Book 2 is back tomorrow. Real Housewives of Atlanta season 13 premieres, and Real Housewives of Potomac reunion. Season finale. Bye, guys.